We did it. All right. Welcome to the Just Saying podcast. It's been 3 years and we're back with another podcast. I decided that I wanted to get a reunion, like I have a reunion episode because man, podcasts are just blowing up these days. The last one we did was 3 years ago and it only got 12 views, but man, we love those 12 people that listened to that interview. Let me tell you.
Though? We had a great time trying to record a podcast in the
Alex.
In the car. Hey.
Honestly, I've been really thinking about this podcast because I started it like way back then and like way back in the days. Did I tell you how like I was writing like an email to my cousin because she's starting a podcast?
What? No.
Yeah, so my little cousin Sandrine, she's like in university right now and she just started a podcast and she was asking me for advice. So I thought, man, I should write down just everything I learned from doing Just Saying podcast and then just send it to her. So then I spent an entire day. I don't know if I was snapping it to you or not, but I spent an entire day because it turned into a blog post. And now
is that what that was about?
Turning, but I want to write a book basically kind of explaining my entire like everything that I learned from Just Saying podcast, like from pursuing it, from doing it, all the things I learned, the acquisition from Rabble Press and how I got like all you guys involved and how like it was like a weekly thing for a while. We were recording in my car. I was like stressing about like the mic quality, and then we're just like recording on like an iPhone 5.
You know what though? Like that probably was the best.
Those are the best episodes.
Yeah, those were the best episodes. Like because we were just huddled in your car, like trying to make sure that everybody sounds the same, staring at the freaking mic, but or at the phone, at your iPhone actually.
No, it worked perfectly, man. You put it on the dashboard and it just catches the audio.
Yeah,
perfectly.
Until it started raining that one time, but that was pretty funny.
That's ASMR now. That's considered ASMR now.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the new thing.
Exactly.
And now I'm going to be starting my own podcast. And I just figured, hey, you know what? It'd be nice to kind of come back to Just Saying where it all started and, just see where everyone is at right now. And I know Amanda, she's not here because she's actually in Bulgaria right now.
She's how is she doing? She's helping herself, isn't she?
Yeah, well, I mean, she's out there enjoying life right now and
living life.
The fact that a lot of people are kind of huddled inside due to the circumstances that's happening right now in the world.
Yeah, man.
I would do anything to be now in Europe, just kind of like chilling and enjoying the great outdoors. But
that'd be nice.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure eventually she'll get back to us.
We'll hear. Yeah. I originally wanted to get everyone all together on a Zoom call, like me, you, everyone who's ever been part of it. So like you, Mikey G, which was my cousin Mike. That was his nickname at the time. Of course, Amanda, because she was like the biggest. And I was writing about like in my book about like I went into like the different hosts and like Amanda was like the breadwinner of the podcast. Like everybody came because of her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you, of course. And then Mike and Sean were doing it. And then his girlfriend at the time, Sam. And I mean, I can't get Sam back. That was kind of a weird breakup. But
like, the way that I got onto your show is actually you interviewed me. And he's like, hey, do you want to just like be part of my podcast? Just saying. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I think it was a great experience. And
dude, it was so fun. Yeah.
But,
I know when I was
my question to you is like, how have you been these past like 3 years? I guess it's been 3 years, right?
It's been 3 years, dude.
It's been 3 years. Oh my God. What's new?
Yeah, I guess people are wondering why it stopped, right? And yeah, this episode is just going to be a one-off YouTube like exclusive episode, just because I want to see like what kind of engagement I still got on the YouTube channel, since I still have access to the YouTube channel. There was a whole thing with the Instagram account I have no access to. I was emailing Tyler from Rabble Press trying to figure out because I signed up with like the Rabble Press email. So I'm just trying to like
password or something, or
no, because we can't figure we both forget what the email address was. Was it Sal Donardo at Rabble Press, or was it S Donardo at Rabble Press? Was it like Sal Donardo with a period in the middle? Was there a space between the Donardo?
Oh gosh,
you know what I mean? Like it was just that's just a forever a relic out there in the internet that'll never be deleted.
saved in your passwords in your computer?
Yeah, no, it's gone. I don't know. We tried for an entire day trying to get access to that Instagram account, but
Okay.
I probably have the Twitter still, but I definitely have the YouTube because
Mhm.
I always held on to it because I'm like, man, like, this was my
Yeah.
baby back in the day, man. I
I
don't even know.
know.
Yeah,
It's okay, but you know what? We're back, and I feel like this is a little test for us. Honestly, we don't know where this show is going. We're probably not even going
yeah,
to continue with this one specifically, but you and I have decided, you know what? Let's just either start brand new or continue on with Just Saying. And I feel like now is the time because like everyone's
yeah,
cooped up inside, and I feel like a lot of more people would, I don't know, enjoy it more, right? Have a reason to be
yeah, man.
entertained, and we've got so much time on our hands. I mean, somehow
Podcasts are
we're
just
working.
blowing up, man.
Yeah, they're blowing up, and there's just so much you could do with a podcast. But what about you? Like,
It's a great medium. Yeah, there's
yeah,
so much you can do with it.
putting aside this podcast, what have you been up to? Like, what have you been up to since in the last 3 years since we stopped doing the podcast, as far as like career wise and you know that kind of stuff?
So I started the podcast mainly to get the attention of this because I was doing this internship
Hmm.
and I always wanted to do podcasts and I was very socially awkward, so I felt like that was like a double like two stones one bird kind of situation where it's just like, okay, so if I pursue this, then I'd have to be not socially, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so mainly like in the last 3 years, yeah, so like the last episode was 2017. Man, my life has changed completely. I've mainly been trying to pursue God more and
Hmm.
bringing him more into my life.
That's good.
I just I went more into my videography. I was doing like a music video every week for like 3 years straight with Doc Heat. He was
Yeah,
on
I
one of the
remember that.
podcasts. Yeah, we've been just kind of like going around to different churches. I don't know, man. He just
Is
like,
that what
yo, we
you're
should go
doing?
to church. Yeah, man, we were like church hopping for a while. So we were going to this church and then that church.
Let me just rap
Um,
on the stage here. I'm sorry.
and yeah, he's like, man, I want to perform. I want to do like spoken word. I want to do like, sermons. And I'm just like, yo, I want to do videography and podcasting. And
Yeah. So you were able to grow and kind of like have this continuous work and realized,
yeah,
yeah, I definitely want to be a videographer. But
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, of course, like you and I now are working on a few projects together. So I feel like we've kind of grouped together finally. Finally, we're working together again.
This is
Actually,
actually
you know
kind of
what?
funny. Is
Yeah.
we've never actually, I don't think we've actually had a full conversation together because we're always just talking about the stuff we're working on because we're just like, okay, this thing and this thing is like, I'm just really like when I was like talking to you on the phone, was it last night or the night before? I'm just
Yeah.
like, we're just like business people. That's,
I
you know what I mean? So I'm like,
know.
how is this podcast gonna work? Me and Alex are just like straight up just business all the time.
I mean, not all the freaking time.
Yeah, all
No,
the
that's not true,
time.
Sal. That is so not true.
I know,
We'd
I'm
have
just
like
kidding.
moments where, like, you know what? Let's go grab some freaking coffee and have some Harveys, okay?
I mean, like, no, like in the last couple like weeks, me and you have
Yeah.
been working on like projects together and trying to get that
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I
But
know.
then, what happens?
With the
The
COVID,
Verona Kairos,
coronavirus.
Yeah.
Coronavirus. Yeah, I know. And, everything's kind of like put on hold, but it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Got to work
But
with what you
it's
have.
no, but honestly, like I know like a lot of people are struggling right now, but like
Um,
I don't know, man. Like last Monday, all I did was just read all day and it felt amazing. And I know I'm doing my part to stop the spread, right? So I don't know. It just felt really, I don't know. Like,
ordering from
I don't know how to
Amazon.
say it to people, man, I don't even know how to say to people at work and my friends. I'm just like, how you doing these days? And I'm just like, I'm doing great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm
Yeah.
just lucky. I've been blessed to be in this situation where I can just like read all day.
Speaking of being blessed, we are blessed to have a full-time job still.
Yeah, I was
A
going
lot
to
of
get to
people
that.
are going
Yeah,
on and off, getting laid off and that kind of stuff. So,
I know, man.
yeah. And the fact that, to be honest with you, I feel like it was a kind of like a blessing in disguise for me though, with this time off, because I mean, when you first interviewed me and for the past like 10 years or so, I was like a makeup artist on the side. So this was the first time after so long, summers were big for me because that's like, festivals, makeup for hair and makeup and hair for weddings. Just every weekend was just going off, right? This was the first time where I had to kind of like, I didn't have work. It felt good to kind of just relax. And then I realized, oh, you know what? I think I need a career change, or I feel like I'm leaning more towards film again. And so it was a good realization to take a step back and figure out either my purpose or, what my true passion is.
True. It's crazy.
And I feel like, you know what? It's perspective. Everyone's perspective is going to be different, but the best perspective everyone should ever take is to be positive. I know it's hard.
True.
It's hard for some people, depending on their living circumstance and financially and all that stuff.
I think 2016 to 2018, I've been going a lot. We were going a lot of places where they're playing loud music. And,
I would take you out and be like, listen, Sal, you need to get out more. Okay. But no,
in the very last episode, it really like drove that home. And it's just like, if you heard that last episode, like that's all we were talking about. It's just that scene, the audio art interview.
Yeah, Arthur. We need to bring him back, man. And I guess because I was involved in that scene, and I probably still am. But the thing is I probably still am. It allows you
to. What's that song? I was thinking about that one today.
I don't know, but I'm very scared.
No.
What song is that? Shake It Tail.
I don't know. It's in my head. It's in my. I don't know. Croatia Squad is amazing though.
Oh, see,
it's not Croatia Squad.
Good artists now. Croatia Squad. Oh.
Yeah, you introduced me to them.
I introduced you into them. Into
this. Okay, we're going off topic. We're going off.
We are.
I didn't really answer you. I was going off a bit, but like, man, it's been so long since I've been recording a podcast. That's crazy. This is so cool. This is so trippy to me.
Honestly, it does.
Yeah. And this is why I wanted. Yeah, this is why I want to do it. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking really quickly because I remember being very nervous when I used to record these podcasts. Am I talking too fast?
No, you're not talking too fast. Are you sweating? How are your armpits?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I guess because I talk a lot all day with customers. So for me, it's like a little bit easier. And I finally started dabbling into voiceover work. So like,
talk about that. Yeah. And then I'll go back to my point. What I was
true. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just decided to, get into voiceover work. And I think originally, I started reading as well. Like, I haven't been able to like put together one sentence. You know, when you like read one sentence over and over and you just can't get past it?
It's like kind of dyslexia. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Terrible. Yeah. It's because
that's why I started with audiobooks, because I'm just like, you'll read it to me so I get the rhythm in my head.
I was trying to do that and I'm like, forget it. I can't even concentrate on someone speaking. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to get through this. And then I got a little bit closer to God as well. I started reading the Bible.
That's the hardest book to read, dude.
I know.
you know what I mean? Like, I haven't read it. I've read it. I've kind of read it.
I haven't read the entire Bible.
But you have to like read it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to read it.
You have to dissect it.
You got to like be like, okay, so Joseph said this, and then he put this rock over there, and then now you got to think about it, and it's like, and he hit the rock too hard. I'm like, okay, why would he do that?
Yeah,
and then water came out. Like, why would the water come out? Why did the ocean part?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to break down the Bible. But anyways, that's where I kind of started doing like verses and kind of doing my devotional and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just try reading a book. So I finally was able to start reading, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what clicked in my head. Because I was reading out loud a lot so that I can kind of get past that, like, dyslexia, I guess. I don't have to do it to trigger myself into reading a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. Like, I like how that sounded. And then I was just thinking, oh, wait, maybe I should try voiceover work. And I just started researching about it. And I'm like, you know what? It's been so long since I've done that, because I did used to do voiceovers for like a company that you and I used to work for, which was just like very like mediocre like work.
Are we talking amateur about BizClip?
Yeah, it was like amateur
they don't exist anymore, so it's like we can name drop, but yeah, like
true. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say anything. And then I started like looking into it.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I
All right,
started
keep
looking
going.
into it a little bit more, and then I realized, wow, we are surrounded by voices everywhere. Like, like it'll be audiobooks.
I hear them in my head.
They're in my head. Besides that, echoing, reverbed, commercials, you name it, just
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, dude, there is a lot of voice work.
It's
Yo, good call.
everywhere, everywhere. And so now I'm like realizing, oh my gosh, this is something I probably want to get into. So yeah, that's why I got a microphone, my
And you
handy
got
dandy.
and
Yeah.
you got like an interesting, very I don't know how to explain it, dynamic voice. Like you can just like actually I remember that the interview I did with you where I made you do a bunch of impersonations. I remember
Oh
that. That's come
yeah.
back to me now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always done that. And I guess it kind of works for me because I did a lot of theater. So usually people that are in theater and acting, they're able to do voiceovers, or they usually start with voiceovers and then they kind of work their way up.
Interesting.
But dude, like you can literally set up a voice booth at home, work from home, send the clips where you need to go, and you can you can create your own schedule, travel when you want. And I'm thinking, why not do that? Take advantage of that during these hard times.
Yeah, man.
You gotta
And
think
plus
out of
it's
the
what you want to
box.
do, right? You love that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's in the works. That's what I've been up to. So
That's awesome.
I went
Yeah,
on.
man, that's good. I know when you told me that, you told me how you went out and bought a microphone and everything and got all that
Yeah.
going. Yeah, man, that's so cool. And yeah, man, I'm totally excited for like what like your own personal podcast. Like that sounds
Mm-hmm.
like fun. Yeah, because we talked about you're gonna have one, and then me and you are gonna have them. That's not gonna be just saying. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm gonna do with just saying. I think it might just be like a random like YouTube channel I'll have.
Why don't you just make it your own personal podcast?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then will have my own personal podcast, and then you and I can have one separately, and then we can
Okay.
kind of like interview each other. No,
Or
but
like no,
like,
we can just do like weekly chats.
yeah.
I follow this one podcast. Actually, there's two. I listened to two of them today. The biggest one that's super inspiring to me is this podcast called Lost in Talks.
Okay.
It's exactly. Did I talk to you about it or no? Or at
No.
all? So this podcast is exactly what I wanted Just Saying to be. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of dudes in a room just talking real shit. Like it's
Oh
just
wait, you were telling me about that like a long time
yeah.
ago.
I'll send it to you after this, but
Okay.
there's that one. Like that's exactly like because they're just people getting lost in conversation, right? And it's just like
That's true.
amazing, and I loved it. And then another one is Move Local, and the Move Local podcast. They sound exactly because all it does is he goes around to
Mm-hmm.
people in Hamilton and Dundas and just interview like business owners and stuff. And that's kind of like what I did with Just Saying with like the certain interview podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So like Just Saying is kind of like a little mix between like what I wanted with Lost in Talks.
So
And
why didn't you
then
just do it?
when I was listening to them again, I'm just like, I was remembering like all of the work I did into Just Saying and all like the time I spent doing it. And I'm going to go into it more. And when I write the book, the
Mm-hmm.
ebook, but I like the idea that I'm writing it as if I'm talking to my little cousin, like giving her all my like knowledge of it. Cause yeah, when I did it in 2014, it
Yeah.
was so much harder, man. You had to pay like Podbean like $200 a year.
Really? Now you can
Yeah,
just download. I was telling you, you could literally download this app called Anchor,
yeah,
and it does it
not
for
sponsored.
you.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
not that we're not there yet. Yeah, 23 subscribers doesn't give us a sponsorship.
No. 12
Yeah, man,
listeners. Hardly.
the game is
Um,
so different now. Everyone has their own podcast. It's crazy.
yeah. And you know what? Okay, so if you go to the website, listen notes or whatever, this is where like a lot of podcasts I've been kind of like finding new people or whatever. And there's podcasts on everything. You can literally find a
Yep,
podcast. I mean, because trying to get into voice acting, there's like voice acting 101. And like this guy literally breaks down everything about the business and you get to
it's
learn.
amazing. Yeah.
There's another one. Oh, okay. So there's this Christian girl. Apparently she's big, and I didn't know because like that wasn't something I was listening into, but like she interviews big celebrities that are Christians, and she calls it Girl Talk, and she only
Oh, that's
talks to
cool.
women, and it's very empowering because, um, from women from all walks of life are talking about just God and connecting it to the purpose, and it's amazing. So there's that, and there's another podcast that I was just like randomly listening on, like I like narcissistic abuse and all that stuff, like mental illness, and it's like, wow, there's so much things that you can literally just pick a topic and, you know, find your niche and just talk about it.
Yeah. Dude, and some people are saying, I hear from a lot of sources that podcasts are actually more effective than books in some ways.
Because you can be productive. And
yeah.
I'm going to be quite honest with you. I wasn't really into podcasts until recently. And I know that you and I had a podcast, but I never really listened. I'm going to be honest.
You never listened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell no one really listened. Like I'm looking at the views right now.
Listened.
No one really listened.
Now,
but we had a good time making them. That's all that mattered, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that I feel like now is a really good time to do that because people don't really want to be sitting around too much. But then again, they want to be able to, I don't know, let's say an artist. I'm just thinking about myself. I'll be like, you know, put up a canvas, start painting something. And instead of constantly just listening to music, why don't I just like listen to someone speak about something that I want to educate myself on? I don't know. And so I'll put on a freaking podcast and I don't know, get inspired. But I feel like it would be a good way for people to have a educational drive home from work,
man. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
When I started listening to podcasts, I had like the old like iPod Nano. Do you remember those? And I'm like, what is this podcast thing all about? I don't even know if I talked about this on a previous podcast. Yeah, and I would load it up with the pod. You have to tether it to your computer and they literally like physically or like, you know, like update it like natural like now it's all wireless.
Yeah,
it's like you get like a feed on Spotify and like you can just click whatever. But when I started, I would I was working. I remember it was cable 14. I was like bringing up the cameras up and down to like the rafters, and then I would have it in my ears. And it's just like
I was in cable 14 for a bit.
Oh, did you work the mobile production?
No, I did the cable 14. I didn't do mobile. I did the Opinionators and like they yeah. So like I did like the in studio work. So.
That's cool, man. Cable 14 was dope. I just found my old cable 14 hat.
I didn't even have one.
It's so dope. Man, that was a big part of my life. That was like my first job. I was like 16, 17 when I started working there.
Oh, really? So you were working.
That was my first
volunteering.
No, it was volunteer. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like my first experience working like in the working world, and that was pretty fun.
Me too. Yeah, that was technically my first experience working like in an actual studio.
That's so cool. I did it for my high school co-op. And that's when I decided I'm like, I'm gonna go into television or like media production. I like the physical aspect of like going to like a different location because like that's what the thing they did with they had like that truck and they just drive around and they go to different locations and that was so fun to me.
I really love the Bulldog games that we did through the school though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then I started doing the Mohawk stuff too. Yeah, that was fun, man.
Did I tell you I started working at Cops Coliseum after that? Like just recently, like the last summer?
Oh yeah. I think I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's so funny because like I literally saw Cirque du Soleil like 10 times for free because like I'll be there before people start coming in and I'm allowed to go downstairs. I'm allowed literally to go everywhere I want. And so
they give you that little media pass that you just flash at the security people.
I don't even need that because I work there as security.
Oh, true. Never mind. Yeah.
So they'll know because I'm just I'm the one with the what's it called with the flashlights to help people going up and down those stairs. But nice. I would meet, I was just trying to like meet people that are doing set design. So I got to speak with a bunch of them. It was kind of cool because it's like, this is something I kind of would love to do, just to kind of like design that because it's kind of incorporated in TV and film, depending on what you're doing. And it was pretty neat. Like, I feel like I took a little bit of that, and
that's so cool. Yeah. That was like a time of your life where like, you're just kind of like feeling things out, just kind of figuring out where you want to go with it.
Yeah,
man, that was fun.
But yeah, no, it's really interesting how like we're here talking again, but this time we're recording on our mics from home. The quality probably will sound a lot better than any of our podcasts that were recorded in the car.
Yeah, but the car
maybe
audio
not.
just sounded so much better. I don't know why.
I
It
think it
sounded
did.
there's one podcast I listen to in like from Hamilton. They're called Omnis. And I'm pretty sure like based on their audio quality, I
Yeah.
think they just put their phone
Yeah.
down on a table, but their conversations are so engaging that it doesn't you don't even care about the audio quality, man.
Yeah, that's the
Great.
thing,
The
right?
audio quality doesn't matter. And like I'm now thinking about the book I'm reading I'm writing, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man, like the audio quality doesn't really matter. It's the engagement. It's like
Yeah.
the conversation.
Exactly. And you know what? Like you, Amanda, and I, like us three, were just so like
We were at a different place in our life too, because I remember I sent
yeah.
a couple like last week I was talking to Amanda through Instagram about it. Where it's like sending us voicemails, and we were just talking about it. It's like, hey, remember that time when we were like doing the podcast? Because Amanda
Well,
was doing a
Amanda
bunch
and
of stuff
I
back then.
were talking so many times, like when she would come over, like with a group of our friends. And then her and I would kind of get into that conversation of like, hey, do you remember when we were like doing the podcast? She's like, I know. And I'm like, look at where you are in your life right now. And
Yeah,
it's just, I remember her trying to figure herself out. So, I mean, I would love for her to, at least get on here to say something right now because she's honestly doing so amazing. I'm so proud of her.
we're all doing
I
it.
feel
Like,
like, well, I'm just saying, like for Amanda, but like, and you too, like,
yeah,
yeah,
thanks,
like,
man. Yeah. We're all like what I was gonna what I was trying to say was we were all in like a very very different part of our life back then, and it's actually really interesting that we took
yeah,
time to like sit down and record ourselves back then, because now we can have that, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Now
we
we
can
always have
have
that.
that. Exactly.
Who cares if they only get like 10 views on YouTube? It's just like
It
we
was more
have.
so, to be honest, it was more so for ourselves. I feel like we were
That's what I'm
just,
saying. Yeah.
we were having like, what I think those podcasts were? They were, like, those meetups when you have with a bunch of friends or whatever, or with people
Yeah,
that are kind of
yeah.
going through something.
That's literally like Lost in Talks is, man.
It's
Like
like
I listen to this
therapy.
podcast. Yeah, it's like
It's
a
like therapy.
therapy group. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a therapy group, like a men's or girls group or something, and then they like all talk about their issues.
Yeah, it was so true. No,
But
literally, it was good, man. Because a lot of people don't have those conversations ever in their life, man. They just go from like this to there
yeah,
to there to there, and they don't actually like sit and connect with someone. You know what I mean? And if they can hear two people connecting, like especially like me, you, and Amanda. You know, Amanda's like my cousin. Like I grew up with her.
yeah. I keep forgetting
When
she's her cousin, eh? Like I
Yeah,
keep forgetting.
she's like my little cousin. She's like my little sister. We used to like her mom like we would babysit her like when she was like 10, and I was like, what was I, like 12? She was like 10 or 12. Yeah, we play like Animal Crossing together and stuff like that. And
What?
yeah, man, the game was so fun. On the GameCube, we had the GameCube all set up.
Hmm.
So yeah, like me and her, like we know each other, so it's like it's cool. And being able to
Yeah,
like record a conversation where like we're both like talking like on a deep level. Like I think that's cool. I think that's like very like good for people. I know like there's
it is good for people. Well, I
yeah,
mean, the fact that we're really blessed to have all of us, like our friends, our group of friends, are very deep, and it's so hard for people to find people to connect with. And I feel like that's the issue. Or maybe they're just not letting people in. And it's so important to know to never be so judgmental about yourself because you never know, maybe that person's feeling that way too. Maybe you just kind of like open up and let people in. That would be more important than just like sitting in your room and just like staring out at oblivion. That's what I
yeah,
was just saying.
yeah.
Like, you were so antisocial and I just wanted to help you so much. I was like, no, there's so much more in this guy. Like, I know there is. Get it out.
What are you
And
doing?
that's why I was like, yo, come out. Let's like, I know it's not your thing, but I know you will still have a good time because at least you're with me. And if you don't feel comfortable, let me know. Let's get the hell out of here. But like you
No, man,
always stood through.
that was good. I know you're talking about. Yeah, those were fun times,
But
man.
what I'm saying is that you need um the main thing that I would say is that if you don't feel uncomfortable, you are not growing.
Yeah,
There's no way.
you definitely have to like be outside of your comfort zone
Yeah.
to grow it all. You know
I
what I mean?
used to, I mean, have not have I used to not have that much friends. I used to be like that artist that kind of just like went home. I never went out
Yeah, like
until
a
like
savant.
after
Yeah.
college. Like I never went
Ah,
out. Yeah, ever. Like maybe I went once out, my ex at the time in college. I went out once. It was my first time ever for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
was like everyone was shocked, like, ooh, she went out. Like, it was a
That's so
big
funny.
thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
and my ex at the time wouldn't let me go
yeah,
out either. So it's like, yeah, we were, yeah.
kind of
So
similar and stuck. And so, no. Well, it wasn't because my ex wouldn't let me come out. It's just because I was just a lot different, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was we were all just at a certain point of our life, and it was, yeah,
Mm.
man, it's so cool like that we can look back on that now. I don't know. I want to finish my point that I was saying because I feel like people wonder. I wonder if people are. I wonder. Well, I don't even know, man, why the
What?
podcast ended. Um,
It ended because of the contract. I guess because we weren't getting enough views or something like
no,
that.
no, no. What happened was
Or
because it was just so hard to get everyone together, man. Like I was trying to get like, and
Mhm.
it was all like getting you together, getting Amanda together. Mike kept flaking, so
Oh,
we just
here it
gave up on
is.
him.
I think I figured it out. It was a combination of, I guess all of us got really busy. We
Yeah,
got
we all got
really,
busy.
really
Yeah,
busy. I know I was
2010's life.
extremely busy because I started doing a lot of makeup. I started going back. I went back to Vegas. I went to LA, did my thing there. And then I don't know, I was just like in my little artistic world. And then I know Amanda was, I think
She
she
had a
was
lot of
like
things going on, man.
she had a
She
lot of
had a lot
things.
of things.
I feel like right by like the end when we were interviewing Arthur, she started doing a lot of things with your sister as well, and then kind of like everything just started getting
Oh yeah, I
bigger and
remember
bigger
that.
and
Yeah,
bigger. And yeah, she finally, I guess figured it out, So,
she
and
figured
she's
it out.
no, because she's an entrepreneur. She's a huge entrepreneur, and like, I mean, if you, who else is gonna work for you? You have to work your butt off to get somewhere if you're gonna be an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
yeah. And then
I
wow.
remember all because I don't even remember, man. I just remember I took a break because it was like I was doing it like every week
Yeah.
since like 2014 to 2016. Hold
Hmm.
on, was it 2016 I stopped? It was, yeah, it was
No
like,
way.
yeah.
2014 till 2000 and oh, it's just 2
Yeah,
years.
dude, every single week I was making a podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
hold on.
I'm just thinking like you could bang out at a couple
2017, yeah, April
interviews.
4th, 2017 was the last one. So yeah. What were you saying?
Okay,
Sorry.
so I feel like the way that we were doing it was really old school. Nowadays, look at how we're recording right now. I mean, we could literally just record something like we're just like babbling right now, but like if we did something legit, we literally could, just record something from our homes, record it, and then post it right away.
Love
Everything
it.
is so like at our fingertips right now, you know? And there really is no excuse. But at the time, it's like, oh, let's get together. What's your schedule like? We have to make sure all of us are together, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm definitely thinking about like interviewing a lot more people through Zoom since everyone has like a Zoom setup now where they have like
Yeah.
their own
And
things.
And
Yeah.
what you can do is you can have a couple of interviews recorded in 1 week and just hold it off and to just post every week and not have to record as much, which means like you could get a bunch of things recorded within a week that you can use for the month. And then,
Yeah, I think, yeah, I could do that, but like at the
yeah.
same time there's really no schedule to it. Like I can do one a month and then just have that on
Well,
like it'll just be for like people that follow me, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to get
well,
big off of it. It is good for like getting clients too, because if people can like see me and hear me talk and like learn and kind of get how I communicate, they can be like, okay, I
mhm.
can see how I can work with that guy, right? So I feel
Well,
like,
the reason why I want
yeah,
to do a
podcasts
podcast
are great.
is because I want to get into like eventually the type of voice acting I want to get is into like either anime or like characters for like, you know, Pixar would be freaking amazing, but I don't think so.
That'd be
Um
awesome.
but yeah, like I want to eventually get into that so I can make like different voices and characters, which is extremely hard. People think, oh, that's easy. It's not. It's really, really hard. Like but that's what I want to get into. And because of that, I want to be able to kind of, have something like a podcast or like a YouTube channel. And because there's this one girl that I'm following, she basically started a YouTube channel so that she could kind of get more clients. And that's what ended up happening. She did voices for like Resident Evil, like so many big characters, like
That's
in
so
movies
cool.
and cartoons and stuff like that. And she's killing it. Like,
I know I really want to start doing something on YouTube, but I just don't want to show up and then just like do what everyone's doing, right? I want to like find my own thing, and I also want to like
find
go
your
into
own
it
thing.
not trying to get clout. You know what I mean? I want to go into it,
Well, that's the Christian in us, you know.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like
Yeah.
that's what that is. And
All in
that's a
God's
good,
timing, you know?
yeah, and I mean, humble yourself, right? And that's what's really important, because always do things in a way. I feel like no matter what you're doing, you need to do it for your love, for the love of what you're doing, and not for the purpose of like being famous, but also because I don't know, I feel like it's a way to build character, you know. Consistency, it allows you
Yeah.
to grow as a person. So hey, if it does end up, you know, making me famous, great. I saw this one little interview of this one actor. Honestly, like, I don't remember his name. He originally said, I didn't want to be an actor just to be famous. I didn't want to be a celebrity. I wanted to be an actor. What he meant by that was he eventually did become a celebrity, but his sole purpose was because he loved acting. So he's like, even if I was
Yeah.
like on stage somewhere doing like theater work, I don't know, in a little freaking cafe, I would have been okay with it. But I guess life led me somewhere else. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, obviously don't do it just because you want to be famous. If you ever dive into something because you want to get famous, trust me, that's going to crash and burn so quick, or it's not going to be good. It's not going to be quality.
Yeah, people pick up on that too, man.
Oh yeah, for clout. That's the
Yeah,
new
it's
thing
like
right
if
now.
I know some people that went into YouTube and like they just kind of showed up and like it's just like, yeah, you're doing this just for clout. You don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't want to make anything new. You just want to like blend into like the niche.
Yeah.
But I was listening to a podcast today and it was actually funny. It was an actor. Were you listening to the Film Riot podcast by any chance?
No.
Okay, so
The
he was
what?
talking about Film Riot podcast.
Film Riot. No.
Okay, then it's funny because I feel like we might have listened to the same one. He was also an actor, and he said when he went into acting, he had this thought in his mind, and the quote was "proceed as if." So he's like,
Oh
"I'm going to
wait.
proceed
Was that what
as
that
if."
was? Okay, yeah, that's the exact same thing that we watched. Yep.
Yeah, that's so funny. It was the
Yeah.
episode finding your success in filmmaking.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
What? That's so creepy.
Yeah, and then he talks about like he went into acting proceeding, and it was proceed as if. So he's like, I'm gonna proceed as if I'm gonna make it big, but like if I don't, then I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm just gonna be, yeah, that stand up
Well, the
comic.
thing is,
Yeah,
like, okay, and that's a really good way to enter anything, especially in the arts. You got to understand the competition is crazy, but the whole thing is that you don't want to blend in. You want to stick out. Maybe you want to be
yeah,
completely different, but that's a true artist. That to me is like, that's what makes you unique. That's what art is.
yeah.
So, I mean, you'll see all these celebrities that are all kind of doing the same thing because, oh, well, I don't know, Cardi B did it. So now freaking, I don't know, Mariah
I hate
Carey's going
that.
to do it.
Yeah, I hate that. Like people
Yeah.
are like, they see something to see someone successful, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. But it's just like that person didn't like,
Okay.
unless like I don't know,
There's a
man. Like
difference
it's
between what's trending and then now, okay, now everybody's doing it. And you want to just hop on as soon as the trend starts and then move on. Don't be
if you're
stuck.
I was doing music videos for this one rapper named Modem, and he talked about that. He's just like, man, if I'm just making music just because I want to make music, then like I'm blending in and I'm not being my true self.
Mhm.
And it's just like he had his own style, he had his own like way of doing things, and he was just kind of like following the trend. And it's just like the trend goes, man. The trend comes and the trend goes, and it's so weird seeing Drake
Yeah.
suddenly rap like in this different way, but it's just like that's not how he rapped when he started. then it's just like, well, when he started, was that the trend? You know what I mean? Was that style of rapping the trend?
Mind you, that's a really good point that you made there, because I don't know, like I'm an 80s baby. I'm 1989. So I was technically an 80s baby, but I grew up in the 90s. Okay. But like I loved R&B 90s music back in the day.
I love 90s music, dude.
Yeah. So like everything about the 90s, I'm sorry, it was the best. But like, okay, so Usher.
Even the video games were amazing.
Yeah. Usher, like the singer, he the R&B singer. I mean, he had his own style and such. So like after a long time, when he tried to make a big comeback, his style completely changed to like go with what's in. You can't do that. It totally lost. You can't. You lost your I guess your spark, or like what made you. So you have to be true to yourself, like as an artist, as a videographer, somebody that creates art.
Dude, I watched as a videographer, I watched so much YouTube of like other videographers, and they all just blend in together, man. They're all making the same shots.
It's good to know what they do and learn their techniques. But what the point is like you want to take those techniques now and you want to make your own. So when I started doing makeup, and I then started getting into body painting, I just randomly decided, hey, I'm going to make headdresses. And this was back then when things were not like that. And then I made a huge hit when I started doing it, at least within my community. And then I started seeing other makeup artists like doing the same thing that I'm doing. I didn't get upset. I was actually like flattered, because like, hey, someone's actually watching me and getting inspired. But the thing is, like, you don't want to copy. You want to use that, get ideas, but then make it your own. So what's going to make you stick out? And this is where the competition stands. And you got to be true to yourself, as a singer, as a dancer, as a videographer, animator, graphic designer, whatever the heck you decide to do. So.
It's true.
Yeah. And then podcasts as well. I mean, if you look up freaking podcasts on, I don't know, let's look up a podcast on how to do resin art. And so like you'll have like 10 people having their own podcasts on resin paintings, and you'll pick one. What's going to stick out? I guess their voice, or like the way that they've organized their podcast, or their information, or, so are they really going to listen to you? Are they not going to listen to you?
Yeah, man. It's so cool that we can just kind of tap in and just kind of see other people's like perspectives, and just kind of like take a little bit of everything, but then from that make your own kind of style. That's what I love.
For instance, today I was listening to a podcast, and this guy sent the main guy that owns the podcast a question. His question was, is the industry too saturated with voice actors?
I hear that for every industry, dude. Every industry is like, is it too saturated? Yeah. Keep going, sorry.
Of course it will be. But what the guy answered was, everybody wants to be apparently a voice actor, but are they putting the work in? It's not about having the best voice and the best agent. It has nothing to do with that. It's your persistence. It's all
those little details you have to learn by like getting dirty with it, right?
You have to know your craft.
Yeah.
Sure, you'll have a great portfolio, but like, okay, I'll give you an example. As a makeup artist, I have a pretty solid portfolio. Like my portfolio is bomb, but it took me 10 years to get the best portfolio that I could ever have.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm sorry, when I post it in front, like if they ask for something, I'll send them my work and be like, I really want to work with you, which is flattering. But the best thing really is to have a good attitude. So I'll be on set, and then you'll hear like a model go off or a photographer go off about a fellow person that I work with in the industry, and they'll just talk really badly about them, or the fact that they had a bad attitude. Or like another makeup artist, they're like, I really like working with you because you know what? You're so pleasant to work with, because like so-and-so was really bad. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, obviously, because what goes around comes around and it's a small industry. You have to be very careful what you say. But that just goes to show that the way that you are with people, the way that you speak with people, and the way that you carry yourself as well is extremely important.
Yeah,
Because
people pick up on everything, man.
dude,
You
like
can't fake
you could screw your entire career over just one thing that you said, and that's it. You're gone.
in your
So,
industry, in the makeup artist.
yeah,
Yeah, okay,
in
I
the
can see that.
industry, period.
Well,
You'll hear,
okay,
yeah.
what's one thing that you can say that would like, screw you over?
I would probably have a bad, like, let's say if I had like a bad attitude, or if I
Oh yeah,
like,
workability. Yeah, if you're bad, if you're not good to work with, then
yeah,
yeah, that people pick up on that all the time. Yeah,
yeah, they pick up on that. You got to just bite your tongue. If you have something bad to say, wait until you go home and talk to your like cat or something,
or get on a podcast. Yeah,
or get on a podcast.
yeah, it's so true, man. Like people are sick of just being around friggin' feral people, right? So it's like
Yeah,
everyone just wants to be around like good people, and
yeah,
because you are who you associate yourself with, right? So
that's true.
you want to associate yourself with good people. So it's like, man, some people are just terrible artists, but they're just great people and they do good
Yeah,
stuff. So it's just like they're gonna get the jobs, man. That's just how it goes.
exactly.
That's why my whole company, whatever my videographer name is, still Sal Your Pal, because it's just like, yo,
I
I'm
love
your
that.
pal.
It's
Yeah, I
so
know.
catchy.
I thought about changing it, but I'm just like, yo, I have the
And you know
Instagram
what? I'm
tag.
glad that I'm keeping Gypsy. Just that's it. Gypsy.
Yeah, because dude, you have a magazine. You produced them. You printed. You had a
That's true.
magazine. What?
That's true.
You're so
Yeah.
productive.
Thanks. So are you. That's why we're
Yeah,
here.
that's true. I'm glad I put my energy into this, just saying, because it's a cool thing, and I
Yeah.
learned there's so much, man. There's so much I learned just when I was like reflecting on it. It's crazy. It's so
It
great.
is kind of crazy. No,
And like
it was good to
imagine,
let it out.
and man, I could have not have done this podcast. I could have just been that thing where like you go to work and you're like working with that guy and he's like, I'm thinking about doing a, like, I work with someone right now and they're like
Like
they want
Gary
to,
Vee, just fucking do it. Sorry.
yeah, it's just like I'm thinking about, I want to learn what was they saying? They want to learn coding.
Is
It's
that what
been
they
like,
said?
yeah,
Mm.
it's been like 2 months since they've said that and they haven't even opened anything. It's just like you're not, you're if you really want to,
Yeah.
if you really want to make something happen, you'll do everything you can to make that happen. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. I
that's what
mean,
this podcast taught me. It's just like, yo, I had to,
just freaking put like at least put one foot out, like step into it. Like, for example, like I bought
yeah,
myself a mic. I already have headphones, like, I have a computer.
can't go
Let's
back
do
now.
this.
Yeah,
Can't
let's
go
do it.
back now. Let's like, and I downloaded the program. It's like, I know it sounds funny, but like, honestly, when you're stuck in a rut, oh my goodness, it's the worst. And I'm going to tell you because of like
Yeah.
maybe experiences that I had with the wrong people and that were in my life that were just probably just bringing me down. And I didn't realize it. You need to clear out all the clutter. And what I did is I redesigned my room ready for a like YouTube channel almost. I did this specifically for myself, for my mental health, for everything. And I realized, oh, everything needs to start from within. Because, like, if you want
Yeah.
something so much, you are willing to change everything about yourself and the people that you surround yourself with and your entire life. You
And
want
you
something
attract
that
better
bad,
people. Yeah.
exactly. And you'll eventually get where you need to get. And who knows, maybe God will just be like, no, this is the path that I'm going to take you, but you just need to trust the
You just
process
gotta, yeah.
and believe in
Yeah, I
it.
remember
Yeah.
when you were like, what you were saying back in the day when you were like surrounding yourself with like, bad people or whatever. Yeah, you
Yeah.
always seem like you were like in an argument with someone. I can just tell. It's just like, yo, you're fighting with someone right now. Like,
Yeah. And it was, that certain someone that we're not even going to mention their
which
name.
we are, but yeah,
But
but yo, it's so true
so,
though. Like if you have that one person that you're always arguing with in life, and it's just
yeah.
like that
Hey, if your
becomes
life
your
partner is going to be
being.
like crushing you, you got to let that go. Let
Oh,
that
I
go. And
feel,
no matter what it is, whether it be a
yeah,
family member or like a significant other or like friends, just you got to really take a step back. And exactly, I mean, all these entrepreneurs, everyone's going to tell you like businessmen and that kind of stuff. The top 10 people, I don't know if you know about this, Think and Grow Rich or whatever. Um, if you surround yourself, the top 10 people that you surround yourself with are the people that you become, type of person.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You become who you're associated with. Yeah, it's so true. So,
yeah.
I'm definitely like associating myself with a lot of good people right now in my life, which is amazing.
That's good.
I was talking about it earlier, but I didn't finish it. But like, yeah, I was going from church to church, and now I'm kind of settled with this one church, and I'm on the tech team. So it's just like
awesome.
I'm surrounded just by good people all the time, and it's great. And like, yeah, man, I love that. Like, I just love my solitude right now. It's just I hope this whole Rovid thing gets figured out, but man, it's just life's
Rovid.
like.
It will. And
it'll be fine.
I mean, it's not going to be forever, but hopefully not. But it's one of those things.
2025, we'll probably be out of it, right?
That. By the time I'm 60, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. But you got to go with the times, and just for me, honestly, prayer is really important. Maybe not for others, but like for me, you have to. So God needs to be the center of your life. That's what I think. Whatever you
seek Him first. Seek first the kingdom, and then everything will be added onto you.
Exactly. Amen. So like, a lot of people haven't found that peace within themselves. So I feel like that was the key to maybe the both of us. I'm just kind of coming to a conclusion right now. That probably was it. And that's why we were not consistent. Maybe that's why we did stop the podcast. We were all lost and we didn't realize we didn't find our purpose. We were kind of going around a full circle and we came right back to the same spot to talk about this.
Yeah, man. It's just, it was just, I needed a break and I took a break and I just never went back to it. And then just, I stopped talking to Tyler, who was like running the server, and he'd occasionally just be like, "Yo, are you gonna do another podcast?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right." That thing.
Oh, he did ask you? Oh shit.
I remember a couple, maybe like I stopped it, and then I just kind of like months just kept going by. You know what I mean? It's just like, yo, like I'm not doing the podcast. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like. It was weird, but I needed a break.
You know what?
But then and then it just stopped. It was just okay. That's it. We're done. And then everyone was just like, "Okay, we're done."
So what I think, honestly, let's start a brand new page, completely brand new podcast, completely brand new concept, and make it happen.
We'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Just Saying will just be my own little thing. I don't know.
Own little first project that maybe it will evolve into something else for you. Yeah.
It could be my little that little random YouTube channel with those 23 people that listen. You know what?
Like, I'm pretty sure you can get more, but yeah.
Yeah. That was a different time.
That was a different marketing scheme, but I think we kind of figured it out now.
I know a lot about keeping attention and stuff, but like those old podcasts, like you listened to and we stumbled through those intros and it was just like everyone would click off that, man, right away.
It's like meh.
Like nah, they all sound nervous and now I feel weird, so I'm gonna click off, and that's why they probably never do that, because everybody was like, "Oh, you have a podcast?" Like, "Oh, that's so cool." I'm like, "Yeah, here's a link." And I'm like, "Did you listen to it?" No, I will eventually.
Yeah. So
great stuff. Gonna say nothing.
I was just saying nothing. Well, if this is my last time on the show, thank you so much for tuning in, rambling randomly about life.
Thank you for listening up to this point. I really hope that's another thing.
Thanks for your cooperation. Thanks for waiting 3 years.
Nobody gave feedback to the podcast. So when it all ended, like nobody, like I think our RSS feed had like 30 or 40 active listeners and like nobody said a thing. So it's just like,
oh, well, that's
if you're hearing this, like leave a
hello,
comment.
if you're out there somewhere in the universe floating, thank you.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to wrap this up. Hopefully we can get Amanda on this and talk a little bit and
Mike.
Mike's
been,
but if not, that's all right.
It's all right.
Thank
We're all
you
good.
so much for listening to us and this wonderful podcast. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everything. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Thanks for clicking on this. If you saw this in your feed. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. This is podcast over. Thanks, guys.
Okay, all right. Don't forget to feed your cat. Okay. Goodbye.